Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am glad that you joined me tonight. We've got a few interesting things to talk about here. I'm going to take it a little international because I feel like I've been focusing on the US a lot and it's been a lot of more lighthearted things. So tonight I thought I'd talk about some things that are a little bit more serious, like this wonderful pastor from South Africa here named blah 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 blah. Lethebo Rabalago. He claims that Doom, or he claimed back in 2016 when he was first caught doing this, or at least first charged for doing this, he claims Doom insecticide can heal people that have cancer and HIV. So what he does is he, just takes a can of this insecticide. I'll use Lysol as an example, and he sprays them. Some people are just nuts. Absolute nuts. Are you kidding me? This guy sprays his congregation with insecticide. He's widely known as the Doom Pastor, and he was found guilty of contravening the Agricultural Stock Remedies Act of South Africa. I'm guessing it's of South Africa. A court ruling said Rabalago claims the insect repellent he used in 2006. Welcome, my original rapper from South Africa. Have you heard this story? This is crazy. They say he used this in 2016 and claimed it could heal cancer and HIV. I'm from the US, Michigan, Detroit, where we don't use this type of stuff on anybody. But I mean, there have been some things that I've heard in the news recently. There was another pastor, I'll just do a quick aside, that just recently, and I was going to cover it, but I decided against it, who said that you don't need to protect yourself against the flu. You just need to pray. And I recently got the flu, and my daughters recently got the flu, and we pray, okay? And we still got the flu. So to that pastor, I want to just say, just shut up. But to this pastor, he needs to go to jail. So a sentence has yet to be handed down after the verdict by Mukgopong Magistrates Court in Limpopo Province. On Friday, Magistrates Franz Mahodi told the court the state had proved its case beyond reasonable doubt that the 5 people who laid assault charges were violated, South Africa's national broadcaster SABC reports. The magistrate said the fact that the complainants were sprayed on their faces with Doom makes this offense the worst of its kind. This is just crazy. He revealed some of them had suffered detrimental side effects like coughing for more than 7 months after the incident. Rabalago, who runs the Mount Zion General Assembly, was arrested after it emerged he had used the product to cure his followers of various ailments in 2016. And yes, it's definitely not uncommon for people both in the US and in other countries to believe in random objects that can bring healing to people. This was a tweet, I don't know if it was from this past year or back in 2016, but he says things like by my name you shall drive out demons, you shall pick up snakes, anything you touch receives favor. Doom is just a name, but when you speak to it, it becomes a healing to become a healing product. It does. People get healed and delivered through Doom. No, like, and then just these images of him spraying people, like literally using this, and he claims that the afflicted church members have been delivered after being sprayed with the insecticide. Now, part of me wants to believe, I'm going to put my scientific hat on here, that maybe the insecticide did have some sort of healing factor to it. And I say that because insecticides have all sorts of chemicals, and who knows, maybe those chemicals forces the body to start to fight harder, or maybe it actually kills off some things. Like I really feel like if I spray Lysol down my throat, I can just get rid of the influenza A and B and rhinovirus and feline colicovirus, norovirus. Like, I wish that were the case, but I'm not gonna go and do it. And I don't think insecticides would possibly do it. So in photos circulating on social media, he was seen spraying the insecticide directly into the eyes and various body parts of his congregants. At the time, he told the BBC's Namsa Maseko in Johannesburg he had sprayed the face of one woman because she had an eye infection and claimed the woman was just fine because she believed in the power of God. This is just like the perfect material that John Oliver would take and run with. Rabalago's case had been delayed on a number of occasions, most recently when his lawyer forgot his glasses. South Africa has seen a wave of incidents where church members have been subjected to unorthodox rituals which purportedly healed them of various ailments. Again, this happens across the world. You get pastors that believe they are, God's chosen gift to the world, and they get it in their minds that they can, do the miraculous because the Bible says that. So rightfully so, they believe what the Bible says, and they just take it too far, and they spray their congregation with insecticides. So apparently at this church, Mount Zion General Assembly, they also will lay speakers on top of people, and then they'll sit on the speakers, and of course spraying insecticide in their faces. And then in another church, someone instructed their members to drink petrol. And in 2014, Facebook images on the church's website also showed his followers eating grass and flowers on his orders. And then in another one, there's this guy dubbed the Snake Pastor. The 25-year-old man of God reportedly started his church in 2014. In 2015, Facebook images showed the self-proclaimed prophet feeding his members stones, which he claimed to have turned into bread. People all across the world, we need to wake up. These self-proclaimed prophets, if anything, the Bible actually warns against these people, against these self-proclaimed prophets that will come in the name of God and say that they're performing all these miracles. So this is just a shame, and I really do hope that people in these countries get the justice that they rightfully deserve, and that the people that are misleading congregations all across the world, because we have it, just as bad in America, because not only will they, lead you down a path to probably have you commit suicide in some cases, but we have churches that where the leaders are siphoning funds for their own, excessive uses on things. Or, a few years ago, there was the Atlanta church pastors and a bunch of pastors, and of course the Catholic Church, abusing men and women. So it's terrible when you have these institutions and you have these people that are in these leadership roles, and they just abuse the power. They abuse the gullibleness of people who want to believe in something. Like, people want to believe and have faith in something other than themselves and in this cruel world, and then you have this leader who just goes in and further destroys that. So anyway, I wanted to end on that story. I looked up, I pulled up the MSDS sheet for this doom stuff, and here are some of the health hazard data, the probable routes of exposure: eyes and skin contact, breathing mist, severely irritating to eyes, nose, throat, lungs, and skin tissue, and then severe overexposure may cause irreversible tissue damage. And then it goes over emergency and first aid procedures. So again, this was way back in 2014. I pulled up just this YouTube video that talked about some of what some of the people had said back in 2016. It's kind of hard to read that with the light, but basically this one tweet says, "Who is more sick, the pastor using doom to spray others, or the stupid people subjecting themselves to insecticide?" And I don't think they're stupid people. I just think that they are severely misled. Again, you have people that want something to believe in, and you get this pastor who's probably very persuasive in what he says, and they just get brainwashed. It's a brainwashing that happens. I don't think it's anything about somebody being stupid. Another tweet says, "South Africans, though, now doom insecticide has the ability to heal, as if drinking petrol, eating grass wasn't enough. Now this." Yeah, this is just crazy. Our people are so gullible, be it drinking unleaded 95, eating snakes, voting DA, or being sprayed with a pesticide. Very gullible. So it's a gullibleness, but I also really think that these people are truly brainwashed. They truly get brainwashed by these leaders who, promise them the world and promise them healing. And when you have cancer, when you have HIV, and you live in a country that may or may not, or you live in a state even, because even in the United States, you might not be able to get access to cancer treatments or HIV treatments, and someone says, I have the cure for you right here. If you believe, and you believe that this can heal you, you will be healed, and you have tried every other option that's available to you, you're probably going to try it, especially if you've been brainwashed and you've heard stories that other people have been healed by this. So again, just going to leave it on that. Let's move on to some other stories. I want to talk about the next thing I want to talk about here is this idiot that worked for Oxfam, and I say worked because he was gently released, I guess is the word, when it came to light back in 2011 that he was in Haiti enlisting the services of prostitutes. And if you remember in 2011, 2012, well, 2011 was when that massive earthquake hit and destroyed most of Haiti. And Oxfam, one of the charities from England, came in to help, and they donated millions of dollars and things like that. Well, apparently they didn't just come to help. They also came to ravage the people of the country. So this was back in 2011, and right now it's just coming to light that, well, the government has ordered Oxfam to hand over files on charity staff who paid for sex in earthquake-torn Haiti. The demand follows an investigation by the Times that revealed Oxfam covered up the use of prostitutes by senior aid workers. And I'm just going to skip down to a few of these. A confidential report by the charity, this was like back in 2011, said that there had been a culture of impunity among some staff in Haiti, and concluded that children may have been among those sexually exploited by aid workers. The 2011 report stated, and I quote, "It cannot be ruled out that any of the prostitutes were underage." And this is just terrible, because again, and it's especially terrible because we just had the President of the United States say that he would never. Why are we allowing people from shithole countries, referencing of a few countries, Haiti, into our country? And the reason why they're shitholes is because when natural disasters hit, you have people that look like this, let's scroll back up, coming into the country and making it that way. It's basically like slavery all over again. Let's rewind back to like the 18th and 17th century, when again Europeans came to these West Indian countries and they ravaged it, and they went to Africa and they ravaged it, and they raped women and they beat men. That's the reason why these countries are in this state of desolation and despair that they're in. You get this, you get people like this. So there was more on this article that talked about the guy in question. One of the men allowed to resign without disciplinary action was Oxfam's country director there. So this is like the highest man, and that was the guy in the picture, Roland Van Houwermeren. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. The report said that Mr. Van H, age 68, admitted to using prostitutes at the villa that was rented for him by Oxfam with charitable funds. So not only do you have this guy that has this top position using prostitutes that were probably underage, using prostitutes that are in a country that has just been destroyed by an earthquake, but he's also using the charitable funds of that charitable organization and using the housing that they've provided him to do these illegal activities. This is despicable on all levels. And then it gets even worse, because despite the admission, the charity's chief executive at the time, Barbara Stocking, offered the Belgian a phased and dignified exit, because sacking him would have potentially serious implications for the charity's work. So she needs to go to jail, and he needs to go to jail for life. Let me just state that right now. After the internal inquiry, 2 other men in management were able to resign, while 4 were dismissed for gross misconduct, including over the use of prostitutes at the apartment where Oxfam housed them. And apparently this just keeps getting worse. A number of sources with knowledge of the case said they had concerns that some of the prostitutes were underage. One said that men had invited groups of young prostitutes to their guest house and held sex parties. The source claimed to have seen footage from a night that there was a full-on orgy with girls wearing Oxfam t-shirts. Are you freaking kidding me? This is a charitable organization that is supposed to be in an earthquake-ravaged country, Haiti, and they are soliciting prostitutes, bringing them into their housing that has been paid for by charitable donations from people like us. They're using our money to do the most heinous things, having these prostitutes and these poor girls wear the Oxfam t-shirts. What were they doing? Some sort of rap commercial that was later on going to be put on? Hey, look at Oxfam. We make your earthquake-torn country a party. Sad. Sad on all accounts. Prostitution, of course, is illegal in Haiti, and the age of consent is 18. Paying for sex is against Oxfam staff code of conduct and in breach of United Nations statements on the behavior of aid workers, which the charity supported. Oxfam said that it did not report any of the incidents to the Haitian authorities because they didn't have to. Because they think that they're better than the Haitian authorities. Because they're from England and we're a better country, we're better people. We're not going to tell you guys because what are you going to do about it anyway? But they said because it was extremely unlikely that any action would be taken. So this report, I guess, they made was kept silent, was kept on the hush until now. None of those accused has been arrested or faced any criminal charges. So please go to thetimes.co.uk, find this article, and please share it with as many people as you know. Because the people that did this, the people that used a charitable organization that was supposed to help people in need, and the most poorest country in the Caribbean, Haiti, after an earthquake, they were supposed to be getting help and assistance, and instead they were taken advantage of. The women, both at the age of consent and under the age of consent, were used as prostitutes by people that were supposed to be helping. And those people that were in leadership positions faced no charges. This is unacceptable. This is unacceptable by a charitable organization. This is unacceptable by everyone who was involved, by the people that covered it up, and it needs to be brought to light. So that's all I've got to talk about on this story. Oxfam did release a statement just recently, actually today, and I'll read it because you probably can't see it here. They say, you may have seen the story in the Times today relating to misconduct, including sexual misconduct, of some members of Oxfam staff in Haiti in 2011. You may have seen that or heard it. This behavior is totally unacceptable, even though we swept it under the rug. Contrary to our values and high standards we expect of our staff. As soon as we became aware of the allegations, we immediately launched an internal investigation, and then we swept it under the rug so that we didn't have to worry about it anymore. Until now. Our primary aim was always to root out and take action against those involved in... I don't even feel like reading the rest of this. If you want to, you can go to oxfam.org.uk and read the rest of this, but it just sounds like a bunch of BS. It sounds like, again, they're trying to cover their tracks. They're not even saying, like, this is just ridiculous. They talk about the 4 members of the staff that were dismissed, and then they leave it at that. These folks need to be arrested. They need to be arrested and thrown in jail. These are international crimes. International crimes, and they should not be allowed to get away with it. So that's all I'm going to talk about with that. I do want to talk about one more story. Gosh, it's already been 18 minutes, man. This is crazy. Let's talk about our good friend Logan Paul. Oh boy, Logan Paul. Well, the good thing is, I do have some good news amongst all the bad news. Here's the good news. The idiot known as Logan Paul has finally been completely demonetized. YouTube suspends ads on Logan Paul's channels after a recent pattern of behavior in his videos. If you remember this image, this came from when he was in the suicide forest in Japan, the Aokigahara, if I'm still pronouncing it right, I cannot remember. But remember, he showed a dead body in that forest, and it was just broadcast to millions and millions of his beloved fans, and it was then finally pulled down by him, not by YouTube. And people were just like, what the heck, YouTube? What is going on? Why are you allowing things like this to happen? This is one of your top stars, and you're allowing him to show a dead body? and YouTube was silent. They were quiet. They did nothing. And then finally, they came out after Logan pulled the video himself, and they finally said, "Oh yeah, you know what? We need to do something." So finally, they've taken more action. But it was only after he's posted some more videos of him doing some stupid stuff. So more problems and controversy for Logan Paul. Google's video platform today announced that it would be pulling advertising temporarily from his video channel, but I think they need to do it forever. I think people like this, they need to have like a one-strike rule. And especially when you become like one of their platinum artists, there needs to be one shot and you're done. Because this should not be happening. You have enough people in your posse and your clique to make sure that your behavior is in line with what YouTube advertisers want to see. He should have a whole slew of people working for him. Apparently, the money that he brings in from their ad program is like $1 million a month. That's enough to make sure that you hire somebody to view your videos before you post them, so that you're not putting things like dead bodies or tasering a dead rat on their platform. I mean, advertisers like Lysol want to have family-friendly photos or videos to post their ads on. They don't want their ad to be preceded or followed up by a dead body or a rat getting tased. No. So I'm glad that YouTube is finally actually doing something. They already have suspended him from their preferred ad program. They pulled him from an original series, but I think he just needs to be done. I don't think he needs to be temporarily suspended. Suspend him indefinitely and let him deal with those repercussions. Let him find another platform with which to spew his ridiculousness, because this is not good. Let people with channels that actually inform and educate and empower and inspire to be promoted. And so the last thing I want to talk about is Casey Neistat, a very well-known YouTuber, probably just as big as Logan Paul. He has the #1 trending video on YouTube, and for good reason. He talks about, it's titled About Logan Paul, and the crux of it is he's going to have this man on his YouTube channel on February 12th, and I am so ready to see this. Basically, it's the YouTube, like the COO or the CEO, Robert something, I can't remember his last name, but he's going to do an interview, and he's going to ask him like some really candid questions about what the heck was going on with this whole Logan Paul thing, what's going on with just everything that's been happening on YouTube as a platform lately. So this will be very interesting to see. Let me know your thoughts on the whole Logan Paul and the YouTube thing in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts on the pastor who is spraying his congregation with Doom insecticide. How long should he be charged for? Should he go to jail for a long time? What should be the repercussions there? And then finally, what should happen with Oxfam? As a charitable organization, they hid these the things that their leaders did to the women in Haiti. What should happen to that organization as a whole, and what should happen to those leaders that solicited prostitutes and used charitable funds and housing to be used as a place for prostitutes to be. So let me know your thoughts. I'm glad you all joined me. The original rapper, mad props for you for watching. Thank you for your thoughts and comments. Get all your friends and fam to watch as well. I would love to hear your thoughts. Love my family in South Africa. Just stay away from those crazy pastors, and stay away from these crazy people that are just leading people down the wrong path. It's ridiculous. That's all I got for you guys today. I will see you tomorrow. Peace out.